video, I'll be talking about writing undergraduate thesis, and in particular, this will be for literary analysis. Well, both I think could be applied for bachelor's thesis or master's thesis. Okay, as I mentioned earlier that this is for literary analysis in particular, so I think I would like to begin with an analogy to point out, well, this is the way I want to point out how critical this understanding and this step for you to start writing a literary analysis. As you can see here, I put two pictures. On the left, it's a baby crying, and on the right, it's a doctor. So in literary analysis, what you need to do first is to find the literary work. You need to decide what kind of literary work that you want to analyze, of course, by reading it several times, like many times, in order for you to depict what kind of social issue or problem portrayed in the literary work. And after that, you can move on by finding the approach, concept, or theory that you can apply in order for you to discuss and analyze the issue that you found in the literary work. Why did I mention this is a critical understanding and step to begin with? That's because in many cases, students start with the approach of concept or theory. Like from my experience, some students came to me and mentioned that, oh, I'm interested in this approach or concept or theory, and I don't know what kind of literary work that I can apply it in. So that's a big no-no, of course, but they need to work on the other way around. So find the literary work first, and then you can use any kind of approach, concept, and theory needed in order for you to analyze the issue in the literary work, not the other way around. Okay. And here it's the table of content. I can say that this is in general way. This is a trend, like 5 chapters, 5 chapters thesis. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you have references, including the appendix. Alright. Then next now we have title. As written here, it's the first line read, but that's the last line written. Of course, when you read a thesis, then the first thing you read is the title. It represents the content, what you are expecting to read in the thesis. But in fact, that's the last line written. I mean, you need to finish the whole thesis in order for you to write a good thesis, a good title. So the good title represents the content. You will know the good title, and you will be able to write the good title after finishing writing your thesis. That's why here I mentioned title is the first line read, but that's the last line written. So don't worry if you have your title, and then after finishing writing your thesis, then you need to change the title in order to represent the content. That's okay, no problem with that. And I can say it often happens in writing a thesis. Okay, and here it's an infographic of an abstract. What you need to include, you have the object, and then the issue, and concept or approach or theory need to support your analysis, and then findings. And here you have keywords. Usually in humanities, we'll have 3 to 6 keywords. Okay, and what's included in the abstract? Here are some questions actually as the guidelines to construct or to formulate an abstract. First, reason for writing, then you have problem, methodology, results, and implications. Okay, and the first chapter, it's introduction. Here you need to state what is the thesis about, presents the background knowledge that the readers need to know, and also the scope. The subchapters you need to include in introduction, as you can see here: background of the study, statements of problems, scope and limitation, objectives, functions, and systematical presentation. And then now chapter 2, subchapters, related studies, review of literature, and theoretical framework. For 2.1 related studies, here you may find related studies in terms of first the same object or the same issues or concepts. So any indicators, whether it's the object, whether it's the concept or the approach or the issues, will be okay to be put as related studies. And then you have review of literature to review what have been done about the issue and also the literary work. And then you have theoretical framework. Then research methodology, some you have here 4 subchapters, including methods of data analysis. And then finally, findings and analysis. I would like to talk more about this in particular literary analysis. Why? Because well, of course, when you need to propose a thesis, then you need to begin with chapter 1, 2, and 3. But in fact, in order for you to formulate chapter 1, 2, and 3, you have at least have the big picture of the discussion, chapter 4, by stating the plot, what happened in the literary work, what's the issue, and then what's the analysis will be, and then what kind of concept and theory that you can use to support your analysis. That is in the chapter 4. That's why in writing literary analysis, you really need to work on chapter 4 in order for you to write chapter 1, 2, and 3. And let's say you have chapter 1, 2, and 3 as your proposal, and then when you need to write chapter 4 as the discussion, that will be okay if you need to make some changes in chapter 1, 2, and 3, depends on what you find in analysis. So everything will be about the analysis, and the other chapters will relate to what the findings are about. Okay, and then conclusions and suggestions. And I guess that's it for writing undergraduate thesis at glance. Good luck for your writing.